Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, May 17th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have social medias. I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram. If you want to go follow me over on there and see what I get up to during the week, cat antics, baking adventures, all that kind of stuff. I also have show notes, the links to things that I will be talking about. If you can hear it, it's raining really hard. It's nothing to do with the show notes, but I do have show notes. Links to those things that I will have talked about, hopefully, will be in the show notes. I am also starting work at the beginning of June at Pearly Girls, which is a yarn shop out in Spring, Texas, or Old Town Spring. All of that information will be in the show notes as well. If you have any questions about any of that, the shop, things that I will be talking about, feel free to send me a message. Or if you just want to say hello, that is also awesome. I am in a different location because my normal place, it is just too dark and I cannot get the lighting to be the way that I want. Because, like I said, it is pouring right now, and I don't know if you can hear it. But the podcast must go on, so we made things work. I forgot my rings again. Surprise, surprise, what's new? So, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, something to craft upon, something to snack upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, we're closer to the laundry today. This is where all the laundry is. We have some towels. There's more to come that I have to do later. I hope the rain is not too loud. But oh well, we'll just have to press on, you know. Maybe you're enjoying your lunch break at your workplace. Maybe you are working out. You could be doing any of those things, a combination of those things, whatever brings you joy. And that was a lot of lightning. Is there gonna be thunder? I don't know. Apparently not. It's been a while. There it is. We had to wait. We had to wait to get it in the podcast, and I hope that you can hear it. Anyway, I've talked about the weather all enough already in this intro, and I've been going for too long. So, come back. Join me for some crafty chat. So, I feel a little thrown off because I'm in a different location. Also, I'm sitting on the floor. So let's see how long it takes for my feet to fall asleep. Because without a doubt, my feet always fall asleep when I sit on the floor for too long. This is nice. I like the rain in the background. My head doesn't like it because I have a headache. But it is very nice. I do like, it's more than like, I love the sound of rain and thunder and all that jazz. Where do we start? I don't know. I apologize. First of all, my cool cup, my mug, it is a little Yeti thing, and it is actually from Yeti's Grind, which is a coffee shop in Vail, and they have a location in Eagle, and they will be opening a location in Edwards, Colorado, which is very exciting. Edwards is where Maker and Stitch is located, if you didn't know. If you're new to the podcast, it's definitely one of my favorite yarn shops of all time. It is amazing. And yeah, my parents are moving there to Eagle soon. Tomorrow when you watch this. It's kind of crazy. So that's this. This is now going on the floor, so let's also hope that I don't knock it over. We're going to set it far away, so I'm not going to... There's no risking it being knocked over. What I'm wearing Across the Universe by Susan of Ye Oni Knits. This was a test knit earlier this year. It is a 2-color bandana cowl, so we can see it kind of dips down and it's connected in the back. I used some wonderful Noro because we do love those color changes of Noro, and I also used Barocco Vintage DK in this beautiful navy colorway. It was super fun to knit. Love this texture, it's so squishy. And yes, I wanted something, but I didn't want something too big because it is a little warm today. But that is what I am wearing, and I did remember to do it, so that is good. Where to begin? I want to tell this story. It's not really a story. It's just like a string of events that happened, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm still gonna tell it anyway because it has to do with knitting and my like interest, concern of knitting or something like that. I don't know. I should just start and not explain because it's just gonna make things more complicated. I'm gonna confuse myself, and I probably confused you already, so I do apologize. But over this past weekend, Sam, my husband, and I got together with some friends, and we were playing a card game that we had recently gotten that is quite fun. It is called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. And yes, that's a very long name, and yes, you chant that phrase while playing it. It's also a very, what I would call, violent game because it requires slapping cards, it requires trying to beat other people to slap said cards. It also requires like certain hand movements. You are a narwhal at some point, you are a gorilla, you could be a groundhog and you knock on the table. There's a lot of hand involvement. So a little backstory about myself. I have, throughout my entire like schooling and a little bit like post-schooling, or maybe into college basically. One, I was homeschooled, fun fact, until I graduated high school and went to college at Texas A&M. But in that time period of being school age, I was always taking piano lessons. And for a certain amount of time I was also taking violin lessons. So music lessons, playing music, things that was very important. And I really loved it. It was very important to me, and so like there's an emphasis on the hands, the fingers, all that kind of stuff there. It's kind of necessary in order to play the piano. So, and then like I learned how to knit, and then that like even more emphasis on being able to have working hands and fingers and everything like that, and just stuff that I really enjoy to do seemed to have an emphasis or needing the ability to use my hands and my fingers, which I know a lot of things do, but it's not like I couldn't just like sit and listen to something or something like that. Reading doesn't require as much, like you need to turn a page or like press the page on a device or something to turn the page, but like it's not the same as if you were playing the piano or you were knitting or I don't know what. So because of that, I have a very like almost a fear of really hurting my fingers, to a point where like I don't know, I'm weird about it, in my opinion. Like I am just super concerned if something feels wrong in my hands or my fingers. I am very hyper aware of it, and it's just like, why do they feel this way? Are they okay? I don't know. I'm really concerned. So let's go back to the card game with this violent hand slapping game. It's so much fun. It's like, it's very fun. It's also very stressful. You may or may not break a sweat. That would be me when you play this game. But I jammed my finger pretty hard while playing this game, and it took several days for my finger to kind of go back to normal. And even today, it's not 100%, like it doesn't feel like the rest of my fingers do. And again, because I'm super hyper aware of how my fingers are, and I'm saying this in a funny way, like I know that this is it's just part of who I am, I guess. I mean, it's kind of weird, but like, it's also not weird. Like, it's just something that I'm concerned about. Sam teases me about it to no end. Actually, that's not true. He will tease me, and then I'll say, that's, it's too much. This is an actual concern of mine. Please stop teasing me. And then he stops. But, so I jammed my finger. I was like, oh no. Because I never jammed my finger that hard before. Which makes it sound like it was just a very intense game, which it was. But I had never jammed my finger that hard before. And so I was very worried. I Googled jammed fingers. Like, I knew, was it broken? I could bend it. It was fine. And I just needed to wait and give it a couple days. And the internet was telling me several weeks. And then I was like, what if I can't knit? And then what am I going to do? My hands are so important to me. My fingers. And 3 days later, it was just practically back to normal. So, long story short, I'm very particular about my hands and my fingers. Yes, that was a lot of lightning. I hurt a finger pretty extremely, in my opinion. There's the thunder. I was worried it would affect my knitting. I was very terrified. And then I was like, is knitting while it's hurting, is this gonna like prevent it from healing faster? I don't know. I was very paranoid about it. Are there other people out there who feel this way about their hands? Like, I don't know why. But I feel very strongly about the health of my hands and my fingers. Like, they're important to me. And I know they're important to everybody. And I'm very, I don't know. It was a very long and rambly story without really any point. So I apologize. I've been talking for a very long time. The game is called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. It's very fun. You can find it at Target or on Amazon or wherever games are sold. If you like fast-paced card games, it's super fun. But be careful of your hands. Also, take off your rings. Like, slapping is just, oh my goodness. And if you may have an Aggie ring of your own, or any kind of college ring, basically. If you haven't seen the A&M college ring, it's pretty big and can do a lot of damage. So, also engagement rings. Mine is pretty pointy. Could draw blood if you slapped it hard enough. So, let's just, again, with the hands, like, let's just be careful, okay? Take care of the hands. Shall we talk about knitting now? Because I've rambled on enough about random things that have nothing really to do with knitting. My hands do, kind of. I mean, yes, they do have to do with knitting because that's what I do. I'm talking in circles. We're going to take a coffee break and then we'll regroup and then we'll come back and talk about some knitting. How about that? Okay, everyone. Where to begin? I only have a few projects that I worked on, but I made significant progress on most of these things, or all of these things. And then I also have some test knitting stuff to talk about that I have not pulled yarn for yet, but we will talk about it because it's still fun and I'm very excited to talk about it. So first off, this is the oldest project. How about let's talk about that? And I didn't put my coffee back, so we'll move it away so I don't tip it over. My name is Grace, and I like to sing about things. Also, I do appreciate that this is like very flat. So it's like, and it's bigger. The only downside, I appreciate that it's big and it's flat and it like works well on the floor. It would take more to tip it over, but doesn't fit in any cup holders. Like, this is such an issue. Don't like that, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big a deal. Okay, it's out of the way, out of the way. Here, dear everyone, is my wool and honey sweater. I made quite a bit of progress on it. And I do have my progress keeper from last week. So that's where I was. What am I doing? Right there was where I was last week. I know it doesn't look like much, but my rows are very long right now. So in the grand scheme of things, I've made quite a bit of progress. I also figured out that I messed up my little honeycombs pretty badly, but thankfully I caught it in time so I could make a little switcheroo and not have to rip back. And I'm very proud of myself. And it was just because I wasn't paying attention to the change of the pattern or patterning, because you go down, it's very hard to see because it's so squished on this needle, but like, so here I have 4 honeycombs, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 here, 1, 2, 3, and now I only have 2, and I'll eventually only have 1. And I missed the transition to go down to 2 honeycombs, and so I was just going to continue on with the 3 because I was not paying attention to the pattern, and I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. I did not. And thankfully, I was able to make a little adjustment. And you can't really tell that I made the mistake. But now you know because I've told you, but when you look at it, you can't really tell. This is my Wool and Honey, like I said, by Andrea Mowry. I don't remember if I said that, but now I have. This is Knit Picks palette in the Pumice Heather colorway. Ta-da! I'm getting close to needing a new ball, which is very exciting. I like to sing about things all the time. Oh, goodness gracious. This looks very complicated. It's not. If you pay attention to the pattern, it's really not. It's slip stitches, it is elongated stitches, that's also a big part of it, and it is like little baby cables. And it's cabling without a cable needle. But since your stitches are elongated, it makes it easier, and I feel like it's a good way to practice cabling without a cable needle because your stitches are elongated because you've wrapped the needle so many times. So they're very long and they're super loopy. And then when you go to cable without the cable needle, it's like, well, it's just super long and just hanging out. It's not going to unravel. It's not going anywhere, which is very nice. And I feel like it helped. I was already comfortable cabling without a cable needle, but I could see how this would help like mentally get over the idea of like slipping stitches off and having them hang out while you're cabling and thinking that they're gonna unravel, which is totally valid and very, very much a concern. But because these stitches, like I said, are elongated, they're not going anywhere, which is very nice. It's super awesome. It's all garter stitch. It is garter stitch in the round, so you do have knitting a row and purling a row. I am so close to dividing for the sleeves. I had really, I I don't know. Like last week I had mentioned that I wasn't going to put pressure on myself to divide for the sleeves, and then halfway through the week I was like, I'm going to divide for the sleeves for this week's podcast and I'm going to make it happen. And then it never did. And so I was like, okay, fine. It's not happening this week. It's okay. So it didn't happen, clearly. And yes, I am... I would like to divide for sleeves by next week. But we will see, you know? We will see. I have other things that I also really want to work on. I now have a new test knit, which I need to pull yarn for. But that does have a very far in advance deadline, which is very exciting. So I'm not too worried about that. But I also do want to make progress on this because I do really want to finish it and be able to wear it eventually, because this is also a languishing whip. I'm pretty sure. I honestly don't remember. Did I mark it on my PDF? I don't even remember. Pretty sure it is a languishing whip. This is one of the ones that I didn't have on my Ravelry for the longest time until recently, and so I was very unsure as to when I started it. But it has been a long time. We will take this moment to move my progress keeper, so I do remember to do that. Boop. Also, before I do that, this is my sugar donut that is sparkly. Ooh, that lighting is making it sparkle. From Little Bitty Delights. Love her progress keepers. And she's also very sweet. She makes such cute stuff. Okay, now we have moved that. So yes, I am excited. Also, I really want like the sweaters that I'm working on to be more mindless, because currently I don't really have any sweaters that are mindless that I am aware of, because this is not mindless. This other one I'm about to show you is not mindless currently. My Pink Fizz is not mindless. I finished my Sea Vogger, obviously, and so that was like my really big mindless one. But once I get to the body, I divide for the sleeve for this one, and this other one I'm about to show you, like, it's gonna be great. Unfortunately, the wool and honey is garter stitch in the round, and this other one is purling in the round. So it's not necessarily the best case scenario of mindless knitting, but it's better than nothing. You know, I'm definitely happy to have this coming, which is very exciting. That was a lot of big lightning. Will the thunder come? I've just been staring off into space for a couple of minutes, wondering where in the world did May go, which I feel like is very random. Like, we only have 2 weeks left in May. What the poop? Like, it was just April. It was just March. Like, where is time going? Christmas will be here before we know it, which I'm okay with because I love Christmas. You know? But like, for real though, where has this month gone? It was just May 1st. I am just very confused. But again, not complaining, because it means we're getting closer to the cooler months. It means we're getting closer to the holidays, which are my favorite time of year, because I don't like heat. What do we talk about next? Let's talk about this one, because this is, again, the next in line in regards to when I cast this on. I don't know how much, I haven't gotten a ton done. I haven't gotten a ton done. There's the rain. It's so rainy. It's been raining like this for almost 30 minutes. Well, probably 45, because it started before I was recording. There's a lot coming down. I have only gotten maybe like 6 rows in since I last showed this to you, but it's worth showing because I have made progress. This is my Lumpy Space by Stephen West. Can we even? How cute is this? I love it so much. And I am so happy with how this is turning out. The Surrey, the fuzz that I really wanted, that I've had in my mind for forever, is turning out exactly how I wanted it to, and I'm just like, yes, I made good choices. Which I don't mean in a prideful way. Like, this is I make yarn mistakes all the time. I don't always make the best yarn choices. But when I do, I'm like, ooh, that is so good. I did good. I did good in this project. So this is Lumpy Space by Stephen West. This is some very odd construction. As you can see, where in the world did I start? It's a mystery. I'm currently knitting around the entire circumference of it, because I do believe that is the correct term that I'm looking for, because the area is the inside of it, but I'm knitting on the outside of it, which would be the circumference. And now that I'm thinking about it more, I'm second guessing myself. So we will change the subject. But I got all this yarn from Maker and Stitch, which is, like I said at the beginning, is a yarn shop in Edwards, Colorado. Both are right, apparently. It just depends on where you grew up and how you heard it growing up. The middle color is Tough Customer, Rough Customer. Ooh, are we gonna quiz myself on how well I know these yarns? There's a progress keeper. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's not it. Okay, I know it's Farmer Daughters Fibers. Farmer's Daughters Fibers. Did I get it right? Rough Customer. I was right. That is the name of the colorway. It's the Foxy Lady base. Farmer's Daughters Fibers. It's a mouthful, but great yarn. Please focus. There we go. So that is the center colorway, and also the colorway that I'm currently striping with my green Surrey, which is this one, which is the Kinnick. I said that I would be questioning how I say this the entire time that I work on this project. That is true. I still don't know. And this is the Oh Dang base. Boop. And I am so happy with how this is turning out. Like, it's just looking so good. In the blue section, this is striped with two things. I have the blue, which is Hue Loco in the... Ooh, I can remember. Oh, I can't remember. Hoarfrost. I knew it had something to do with being cold. Like, okay, Hoarfrost. And then the other one, the gray, is from Manos del Uruguay, and I believe it is the Antique Lace colorway. Haha, I got it right. I got it right. So there's that. For the Manos, and then here is the Hue Loco. Single sock. I'm loving this. This is so much fun. It's definitely, I feel like it's in between the like mindless and needing to pay a little attention, because of the fact that it's like situated weirdly. Oh goodness. situated weirdly, so I have to constantly be like sliding things around because it's not going to slide naturally as if you would be just knitting in a tube, because you have pointy sections. And then, but then it gets all bunched up and all that kind of stuff. So that's a challenge. The yarn over part is really not that hard. It looks complicated. I'm showing you the wrong side, but there we go. It looks super complicated. It's not. I will have these yarn over eyelet rows in this green section as well. And I actually need to do that. I believe I'm about ready to do that next. Which is very exciting. And my foot has fallen asleep. Did last pretty long time. But now my foot has fallen asleep. Yes, so this is, like I said, it's Lumpy Space by Stephen West. I've wanted to knit this shawl for forever, and now I'm living my best life, and this Stephen West shawl. Oh my goodness, we love that journey for me. We did that last episode, and we're not going to continue on because we don't need to do that 2 weeks in a row. Thank you, Alexis Rose. Yeah, I think this project in particular, I've definitely gotten past the challenging part, for sure. And now I'm just in the, like, bazillions and bazillions of stitches, just chilling, going around and around and around. But going off of what I said a couple weeks ago, it's nice to have a couple of projects, or at least one project that kind of challenges you and your skill level. And this definitely did that, for sure. But in a very fun way. Like, it wasn't complicated by any means, and it wasn't like, wow, I have no idea, like, this just does not make sense. But it's like, okay, I am very confused as to how this is going to work out. I know it will, I just don't know how. But it's Stephen West, so it's gonna work itself out somehow. I don't know. But we'll just trust the pattern and continue on with this weird shaped thing. And we'll make 2 of them, and I don't even know what's going on. It was very fun. I've highly enjoyed starting it, knitting it, and continuing on with it. It's been quite a fun knit. So if you're looking for a very unique shape of shawl, I'm also looking forward to wearing this. I feel like this is a very fun shape. And that's the back. But loving this, Lumpy Space by Stephen West. So next up is the project I almost forgot last week, which I still can't believe I forgot. I was just so excited about my mini skeins, which hopefully I do want to talk about that in just a moment after I'm done talking about this. It's really raining very hard, but my headache is better, so that's good. I think also the medicine and the caffeine that I have taken have definitely helped that, but still. Things are happy all around, or more happy than they were. This is This Summer Sorrel Tea by Wool and Pines. I think it's Wool and Pines, or Wool and Pines. We will find out. We'll consult the internet because that's what we do. Wool and Pine Designs. Selena and Abby. Ooh, what is this? C-Class tea? That looks amazing. How have I not seen this before? Okay, well, we're now getting distracted. Okay, I can't look at that right now. I'm recording. I must stay focused. So they have, I think they came out with it sometime last year. maybe in like the end of 2019. Just the sorrel sweater pullover, and that was with like a fingering and a mohair, and it's got long sleeves. It's gorgeous. But since then they have come out with both a summer sorrel and then a spring sorrel, and that is just differing of like weights and sleeves and all that kind of stuff, which is really awesome. They have so many variations now, so you can really make it your own. You can fade it, which is super fun. I don't know why I did that, but it just symbolizes fun. So yes, I believe, so this is a knit along that is currently going on for the month of May, I believe at Pearly Girls. And this doesn't really look like anything. This looks like nothing. Doesn't look like a sweater, that is for sure. But here's what I have so far, and I am so excited. This is just not, showing this to you is not turning out very well. Okay, there we go. This is what I have so far, and can we even these colors? And then also, everyone, I've put my Yoda / Grogu donut progress keeper on it from Little Bitty Delights, and I'm just so excited. And then I also have a Inomnia Paratus Gilmore Girls stitch marker from A Needle Runs Through It, because there we go. Fun fact, I've said this before, I'll continue to say it again. If you are recording yourself on a video camera of some sort and you're out of focus and you can't get it to focus, stick out your tongue and it will help. It will automatically focus your face. I keep getting weather notifications. It's just quite a lot. It's been raining very hard for a while at this point. So yes, this is my progress that I've made so far, and I was around that point last week that I showed you, so I've clearly made a lot of progress, and I am almost completely faded into my second color, into this beautiful purple, as we can see. I am loving how this pink has faded into this purple. I feel like it's one of those things that, like, you see the skeins next to each other and you're like, okay, I think that'll work. I think it'll be fine. Then you wind them up and then you're like, oh, that's gonna work much better, even better than I thought. And then you actually start the fading process and you're like, oh, this is perfect. So fading actually can, like, it can blend things very well. So if you're ever hesitant of, like, I don't know if these colors will fade together very well, if your fade is gradual, if you actually do the, like, 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 2 1 2 1 2, whatever the formula is for fading, I feel like you can get a pretty seamless fade even if your colors are not, like, super close or fadey, because I mean these two colors are definitely not necessarily, yeah, they fade, but they're like, this is clearly not a pink and this is clearly not a purple, but together when faded it looks just so nice. I love it so much. I have about, I really need to try it on. That's my problem. Or not my problem, it's just where I am in the process. I've started chart 3, which is the last one before we split for the sleeves. Like I said, I'm almost done fading into my purple, so I will break my pink soon. And yeah, you can see these awesome, and just the pearl sections in between have gotten longer and longer. I have now gone to every other little flower thing. You can see this one's shorter than this one. So I definitely gotten to that point, which is very exciting. But yeah, I really need to try it on. I am still so concerned about this neckline. Like, what is this neckline? What? But I've seen so many people who are either currently knitting this or have knit this, and they all say the same thing. And they're all like, wow, this is such a big neckline. And then they try it on and it's like, oh, that bit's fine. Yeah, it's a little big, but I mean, it's supposed to be big. Like, you could just look at the picture on the pattern and the original one that Wool and Pine Designs have posted. Like, it's supposed to be a very wide neckline. But I think just because there's like no shaping to it whatsoever right now, it's like, this just looks like a circle. What am I doing? So I'm trusting the process. This is the neckline. I'm trusting the process because so many people have made this. I'm just believing in it and not trying to second guess myself. And I know that if it is too wide or wider than I want it to be, then I can hopefully take like a little crochet and do something on the inside to kind of like bring it in a little bit. But I have very wide shoulders. You may not be able to tell that right now, but I do have very wide shoulders. So normally stuff that has a very big neckline, depending on the size that I'm making, is not a huge issue for me. So I'm really enjoying knitting this. This has been like kind of the thing I've been working on the most. And it doesn't, like, I could have done more, but these little dip down things take forever. They're beautiful. And they look just incredible, especially with the whole fading, and like it's gonna look just so amazing. But they do take so long. So yes, I do hope to have the sleeves divided for by next week because I really do want to get this done in the month of May. Because I also want to be able to wear it in the summer because it's the summer sorrel. It's not the winter sorrel. It's not the spring sorrel because also spring is pretty much done here. I know a lot of people, especially in Colorado, have gotten snow recently. So, like, that's still happening, and it's almost the end of May. I'm loving this. I can't wait to see what just the purple looks like. I have really enjoyed working on with the pink. Let me tell you what my yarns are because I haven't done that yet. This is Gossip by Hedgehog Fibers. This is Purple Tang by Hedgehog Fibers. And then lastly will be my Beach Bunny, I believe, by Hedgehog Fibers. So I will fade these two together, and I think that will be gorgeous. Because again, like, they're close, but they're not the same. I feel like you could easily put colors in between to get a better fade if you weren't striping and doing the formula thing. But because we do have a very nice formula from the pink to the purple, I know that the purple to the blue is just gonna be so good. I'm very excited to see what it looks like. So, I doubt that I'll get to the blue by next week. We're just hoping for a sleeve divide and maybe even a sleeve divide with my Wool and Honey. I don't know. We will see what the week brings because it's only Monday or Wednesday when you see this. So hopefully I will have made some progress on something by that point. But you never know what the weeks are going to bring, you know? Especially when time is going so fast, apparently. Like, what? What? So, that is my summer sorrel. While I put this away, let us discuss my mini skeins that I did not bring in here, but that's okay because I have not wound them up in any shape or fashion. So last week, I got to show you the Mandalorian mini skein set that I got in addition to the Yoda Grogu Progress Keeper, which was a collab between Cassie of Big Sky Yarn Company and Amanda at Little Bitty Delights. I love them both. They make incredible things. And so I was very excited to get this set. And I am going to go outside of my comfort zone and make a sweater with this mini skein set. And I got a comment, or I feel like I had several questions actually about this in particular, and that would be, how do I need to supplement any yarn to make a sweater with this mini skein set? And my answer would be, it really just depends on the sweater that you are making, because for the one that I'm going to be making, I'm going to be making the Cozy Classic Raglan Light by Jessame, and so that is a very variable in yardage pattern. You can make it work to really whatever yardage you have and the size that you are going to make. The mini skein sets are surprisingly full of yardage. Like there are 8 mini skeins, and each mini skein has 94 yards, and I'm not going to do that math because I cannot multiply that in my head. But I know that I can get a sweater that I would like to wear, and the shape and whatever, and with that yardage. And granted, that wouldn't work for every size. I know that that is just what would work for me. If I wanted to make a more oversized one, I definitely would have to supplement yardage, yarn. And if I were to do that, what I probably would do is I would find a neutral of some sort, and I would probably put a stripe in between each stripe of the mini skein, if that makes sense. And I think that's how I would do it. You could also try and get the whole body in the mini skeins, and then you could have like the sleeves be plain and like a contrasting color or a neutral color that you liked going with that set. That would be another fun idea. But yeah, there are a lot of different ways that you can supplement and put in yarn into a mini set to make a garment, because there's not a ton of yardage. Like, it's not expansive yardage that comes in a mini set, but I feel like it is very underestimated. And I definitely fall into that category. I've always underestimated mini skeins just because they look small, and it's very surprising how much yardage you can have in a mini skein. Like 94 yards is quite a bit in each mini skein. And it just depends on the dyer, it depends on what they have available, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know when that will be happening because of this new test knit that I need to talk about in just a minute. Thank you, self, for reminding me that I need to chat about this because I almost forgot. But yes, because of this test knit, I'm not sure when exactly I'll be winding those up, but I do want to do that soon because, again, it will be more of a lightweight sweater, and it will be something that I can wear in the summertime, hopefully. Or if not, it will be, because I do kind of want to do long sleeves, or at least 3/4, depending on the yardage and the striping and stuff like that. I'll figure it out when the time comes. But yes, that would be my answer to that question. Do I need to supplement yarn? I could, but I'm not going to because of the sweater look that I'm going for. But yes, and that's like I feel like there are so many good patterns out there currently, especially this Cozy Classic Raglan. There's the light version and then the regular version as well, that are just really good templates that you can play around with. So you could go super scrappy with it if you don't have mini skeins, but you can just play around with your stash and you can just make it work. And like I said, there are just so many patterns out there right now that are good for that kind of thing. That is the pattern that I'm going for my Mandalorian mini skein set, which I'm just so excited for. Okay, so we have gone to the internet for more information that I cannot remember. So my new test knit, which I'm very excited for. I am going to be test knitting the Recalibrate top by Shanalines Designs. And it is a reversible garter stitch fingering weight top, and it's giving me Penguono vibes. And I know that a lot of her designs are very similar to this, and they're very like modular in this way that again, it's a good template to play with your yarn and play with your stash and just like kind of make things work, and which is super fun, and I feel like is a really cool way to be creative. And so I'm very excited to be testing this for her. She's had so many fun patterns come out recently. So this is on her Instagram. This is her picture, and she is modeling, but this is the reversible top, and it's knit kind of in pieces, but you seam as you go. So again, very Penguono vibes to me. I have not pulled yarn for this. I do have all the information, but I am very excited to pull yarn from my stash and play around. She also just came out with this really super cute hat, the Split Decision hat, that is like super scrappy, and you can wear it a bunch of different ways and it looks different in all the different ways, and that's like, again, super creative and a good template for playing around with your stuff. She has very fun designs, and I have never test knit for her before. I've always wanted to, but I just haven't had the time necessarily, and I've always been working on other things. I have several of her patterns, and yeah, I'm very excited to be able to test knit this for her, because it's just so cute, and it looks like a super fun summer top and can be a winter top for layering purposes, or if you live in a hot and humid climate like I do, can go into the winter, because yay. But yes, hopefully I will have that started and can show you the yarn that I have picked out by next week. And yes, it's just very exciting. So yeah, that has a very far in the future deadline. But yeah, I'm gonna start working on it now, obviously, because I want to get it done, because I'm very excited about it. So that is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, listening to me rant and ramble again about, specifically about my finger wound story. It wasn't even a wound, but like my finger problem, my weirdness, being paranoid about my fingers. I don't know all about all of that stuff. I appreciate you sticking with me, because that was very weird. But that's just who I am, I guess. I have all the social medias. I have yarn shop information on my blog. All that jazz. If you have any questions, or if I have forgotten to include something in the show notes, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. I hope you have had a wonderful weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. I have crafty plans. I need to go pull yarn for this. I also have a lot of laundry to fold, so I need to do that first. But I may do the yarn first, because that sounds like more fun. Because why not? I know. Hope to make some sleeve divide progress. That would be really great. Would really love to get that far in some of these things. I also need to try on the summer sorrel and make sure it's fitting. That rain is really coming down. It's been pouring this entire time. It has dumped so much water. And I know that flooding is an issue right now. I've been talking to a friend while recording this, and yes, flooding is an issue right now. So, very glad I have been able to stay home during it. But, yes. I hope you enjoyed this new location of me sitting on the floor with all the with the windows shining their very natural light on me. It works very well, looks very nice. Even though my feet do fall asleep. But the small things, it's a small price to pay. Anyway, I think that is everything. I think I remember to talk about everything. I did remember the mini skeins, I remember the testnet, I remembered all these projects. I think I remembered everything, because now that's a concern. But whatever. Yeah, I think that's everything. Anyway, because that is everything, that's all I have to say. And I will see you guys next week.